Hello, I'm Bunnery.
I'm Bread Mower,
and this is IFXtra. So here we are back from our trip to London, aren't we?
Yes.
So exciting. We're a bit tired, but it was exciting. It was fun. We met some very famous people, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
So we went to go to the BET show, which is
did.
like a big educational show that happens every year in London. But the main part of it was we got to meet some celebrities.
We did, yeah.
We got to meet Mr. Power Apps and Dr. Ridout from the quiz. Well, I say from the quiz, from Interference as well. Mr. Power Apps known as Anti-Tarita on Interference.
Yeah. Who's been playing for how many years? 7 years and
just over 7 years. So he's like a very long time player, and we finally got to meet him in person.
Yeah, it was great.
It was awesome.
All the way from Seattle.
Yeah. So he traveled a long way, but it was it was really cool. And like we took him sightseeing a bit.
We went to the Sherlock Holmes Museum. I've never been there before.
I know.
It was awesome.
That was very cool, wasn't it? And we. So he'd met up with some of like the local kind of user groups there. Oh, I should say, in case you didn't guess from the name, Mr. Power Apps, he's actually a program manager for Power Apps, which is a thing that Microsoft make that lets sort of people make apps without needing to get really heavy on the coding. Less code, more power is their tagline. So he met up with some of the local user groups for that, and they were teaching him English slang, basically British slang, and like, so
how can apples be stairs?
Exactly, so they talked about cheeky Nando's, and he thought it was a joke, and we actually took him for a cheeky Nando's because at first he didn't believe it was a real thing.
No, but we went for one, and it was good.
It was great. Yeah,
we had a very nice time.
And then we saw Dr. Ridout as well the next day,
working hard on the stand at Microsoft.
So we had a chat with him. That was awesome as well.
It was.
It's the first time someone has used the phrase, "Let me get a selfie with you so my daughter will believe I've actually met you."
That's crazy.
I mean, we feel like celebrities.
Yeah,
Z-list perhaps, but it was
cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a really nice trip, wasn't it?
It was. But so Mr. Power Apps, Anti-Tarita. He's been a player for quite a while, and back in the day, many years ago, he asked how we got into app development, and I said something along the lines of, I used to do a bit of programming, but I was just looking for something to keep myself occupied, and I thought, well, I will learn how to make an app, and make an app of interference. And so
using tutorials, didn't you?
Just using some tutorials on the internet. Why don't you have a go? And he was working as a maths teacher at the time, and decided to try and make some apps to kind of help
with fractions and things like that.
Yeah, basically help with sort of kind of concepts and things, but also help with admin, because it would save his colleagues a lot of time. Basically, going a long story short, he eventually ended up actually working at Microsoft on this Power Apps product.
He's so awesome.
And he was interviewed for a podcast a while ago and asked what inspired him to get involved in all of this. And he said it was us. We planted this seed of an idea that anyone could make an app. And
now he's doing the same for everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. So we met up with him at Paddington Station, next to the statue of Paddington Bear, which was cool. And basically
he's been watching the quiz.
Doing
the quiz.
So he's been a big fan of the quiz, and he says one of his things that he likes to do is he likes to solve problems. And those of you who watch the quiz regularly will know that we try and get as many people involved as possible, but sometimes we struggle because we can't support people on some platforms because we don't have a way to test this. The big thing being, occasionally we get people joining on an Xbox and they say, "How do I play?" And every week I go, "I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. I don't know what this looks like. We're just kind of winging it. Press some buttons and see what happens." And Mr. Power Apps says he likes to solve problems, and he felt that this was a problem that he could help solve. So he very kindly has donated a load of equipment to us. So yeah, basically he's bought us an Xbox and associated equipment to help with our mixplay development.
That's amazing. It was such a shock.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm still sort of like a little bit speechless for it. I was quite speechless at the time. I mean, there was no need for a waffle alert sticker. I mean, I'm waffling a bit about it now. But yeah, basically, yeah, he's given us a load of equipment to help us actually develop the quiz and other things further.
I want to say thank you.
And yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. It's not the kind of thing you ever expect.
No.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. But thank you so much.
Yeah,
we have already started work on the Xbox update for the quiz.
Oh yeah.
It will be yeah, it'll actually be usable, hopefully, and we'll understand how it works. But yes, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate it. And we will put it all to good use.
We will.
We will make awesome things.
Totally.
Yes.
Okay, what else have you been doing this week? Have you done an update or two?
Yes. So aside from that, we have also been actually doing some web and app updates. We're starting to work through the backlog of suggestions. One of the things that came up recently that was a quick thing for me to implement was like counts on the items in your recent items bit. So if you're looking at your profile, you know there's a bit that lets you see what you've drawn recently, or anyone has drawn recently or described recently. But you then had to go into the game to see how many likes there were. We're now showing how long ago you did that item and how many likes it's got.
That's quite useful.
Just down at the bottom. Yeah, that is live on the website and probably on Android by now, because I've just pushed an update up for it. It normally takes a few hours to appear in the store. So yeah, Windows update for that coming in a day or two when I've got time just to actually write the update. We've also finally fixed something that's been annoying me for ages on Android, which is that the icons for the app and push notifications weren't right. In that our icons were still the old style. So if you had if you have a newer Android device, you would have seen like a little square interference icon in a big white round circle. Round circle? That's kind of unnecessary. But I've now finally fixed all of this icon stuff. So you get like a nice big interference icon, and the push notification icons work and everything. It was just annoying me for ages. So that's finally done. And yeah, so we're hoping to kind of get back into the cadence of getting some regular updates out, which will be very cool.
Very nice. Okay, is that all the news for now? That's quite a lot of news.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I have waffled a bit there.
Yeah, it was important.
But yes, I mean, again, thank you. We really appreciate your support.
We're amazed. Okay, now it's time to see who won this week's awards. Picture of the week this week goes to Lavender Tales for the blue badger. That is such a beautiful portrait of a badger, such shiny fur, those eyes staring right at you. That's brilliant. Well done, Lavender.
My favourite description this week was Catching a Glimpse of Your Inner Self by Bobs. Now, you know me, I love a good pun and this really works, but also it was a really efficient way to put the concept of the picture across to the next person who did actually draw someone looking in a mirror having cat ears. Really well done, Bobs. Nice work.
Community pick of the week this week goes to Chard for Orange Octopus bathing in a bucket wearing a pink cap. He just looks so happy to be in his bubble bath. I love it. It's brilliant. Well done, Chard. They were amazing.
Awesome stuff there as always.
Okay, now we're going to have a look at what we were talking about last week in the forums. So last week I was asking you, even though we're all expected to eat more veggies now, is there any vegetables that you really can't eat? For me, it's peppers. They just make me feel ill.
Tomatoes, because tomatoes are evil.
Tomatoes are beautiful.
No.
Although somebody does say something about that, doesn't it?
Yes,
oh yeah,
Callum.
He likes all vegetables, but he can't eat tomatoes if they're hot.
Is that
hot,
if the tomatoes
fried,
hot?
Yeah, fried tomatoes, all squishy.
Or if it's like a warm day. I mean,
know.
I can't eat tomatoes on any kind of day. I like the taste
But
of
you
tomato.
eat pizza all the time.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
tomato
it's the texture.
No.
It's you bite into a tomato
nom,
and
nom.
there's all this stuff.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
Oh, it's horrible.
I
No,
love
no,
it.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting when we go out for food. Like I'll always give you my tomato because
Exactly.
I just don't like them. If we go out as a big group, there's like a big food exchange. There's like Ferret really likes barbecue sauce, but it always seems to come with bacon on things.
That's not vegetable.
So she doesn't eat bacon, so I get the bacon, and then I give you my tomato, and it's all it's a good setup.
Okay, so Angela likes peppers, but she hates Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. I think they're nice if you have them with at Christmas with chestnuts.
Well, I mean, chestnuts are nice.
Yeah.
I used to really despise sprouts, and now I'm just kind of not really into them. But I was talking to someone, I can't think who it was. We know a few people who are in food science, might have been Greg, possibly, who was saying that sprouts are different now because through, I guess you call it selective breeding, I guess, they've the current cultures of sprouts, would you call it? I don't know. Anyway, the sprouts you get now have been bred to be less bitter, so they don't taste quite as nasty. So, like, if you had sprouts as a child and you're not having them now because you think they're horrible, they literally do taste different now. So you
Colin
might like
says try cooking them with crispy bacon. That might help us all.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, it's nice.
What else do we have?
Well, 9% Irish says he hates canned spinach. That means he's definitely not Popeye.
Not Popeye, no. I always think I don't like spinach, but then it's quite nice if you get like the baby spinach and just kind of shrink it down.
Yeah, wilt it. Shrink it down.
It kind of, it always feels a bit soggy though. That's the thing that puts me off. I'd like that if it wasn't so wet.
Yeah. That's Ninja doesn't like beets or collard greens or radish or bok choy. I had collard greens when I lived in South Carolina, and it's the kind of thing you have to cook it for several hours before it's actually edible.
I don't know what collard greens are.
It's a bit like really, really tough cabbage, a bit like kale. Yeah, not nice.
Yeah, kale's not cool.
But
I mean beets. I mean, there's that
beetroot. Yeah, a lot of people don't like beetroot.
It's quite
a weird earthy thing, isn't it?
In small amounts, it's okay. Yeah, I guess.
Bok choy again is a cabbagey kind of thing, isn't it?
I quite like bok choy because you get that in Chinese, don't you?
Yeah. Radishes, they're a bit peppery, aren't they? I don't mind a little bit in the salad, but I couldn't eat a lot of radish. No.
Radishes just make me think of Fraggle Rock.
Do they? Why?
They were always trying to steal the radishes.
Okay. All right, that's it for veg.
Okay.
If you want to add anything to that, you go ahead. But yeah, I don't see how all these people are eating peppers. That's not nice. Ready, eat them raw. Anyway, let's go and have a look what we're going to be talking about this week. With the new series of Star Trek Picard starting, would you ever volunteer to go into space and live on another planet? I think it would be quite scary to be a pioneer and start a new human colony for the future. It really is a step into the unknown, but maybe it'll be necessary one day.
If you'd like to chime in with that, just head over to the general discussion forum. It's the pinned thread for the week, so you'll find it at the top of the thread list.
Cool. Now don't forget, tomorrow night is quiz night, yet again. Woo! Our favourite night of the week. And can you remember who won last week? Somebody we might have met recently.
Well, yes, it was actually Dr. Ridout in first place on 214 points.
Only just so.
Phantom really close behind on 212. And then we had Grinning Goose in third place on 201.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't seen this before, every week over on our Mixer channel, mixer.com/interference, Sundays at 7 p.m. UK time, we run Zeitgeist, the interference quiz of the week. It's basically a general knowledge quiz inspired by the week's drawings on interference.
Yeah, guess who I've chosen this week?
Go on, please tell us.
I've chosen 9% Irish, we all mentioned him, Artsy Ninja, Bob's, Cadence, and Lydia 1Z. Or 1Z even. 1Z, maybe she wears onesies.
Okay. Sometimes you don't get names until you say it out loud, do you?
I know.
But yeah, so basically Bunnery picks some of her favourite drawings each week, seemingly by those artists.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. I don't see the pictures or the questions ahead of time. I get to play along with the rest of you.
I haven't seen the questions yet. I'm halfway through writing them.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So yeah, it's basically old multiple choice. It's a bit like a TV quiz show, except instead of shouting the answers out at the screen, you can play along against the rest of the audience and see who does the best.
Exactly. Get on that leaderboard.
Yeah, I feel like we've started getting quite a few new people in.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I know Dr. Ridout kind of throws out challenges on Twitter to people that he knows every week
So
now.
good, yeah.
So we had the Cat Fam joining. It was like a group from Microsoft joining the other week.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would love to fill up that leaderboard. So if you do know anyone who enjoys a pub quiz or likes watching quizzes on TV, then get them involved. As I say, every Sunday at 7 p.m. UK time over on mixer.com/interference.
Cool. I think that's all the news for this week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, I think.
Just goes to say.
Yeah, if you're not already taking part in the game, then get involved at playinterference.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at PlayIFX or on Facebook at PlayInterference. We've also now got a Patreon page at patreon.com/interference if you want to give us a bit of monthly support for the ongoing maintenance of the game, building out the quiz, adding in all new features, looking after cats, of course, as well.
Yeah, of course.
We really appreciate your support.
Cool. Okay, we'll see you again next week.
Yep, have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye for now.
Bye.